Hello again, Des Asante here from the Tech Muse Academy with another mixlessons.com video quick tip. This is a pretty quick and easy one, but it's a question I get asked a lot. As you may know, if you've watched a few of my videos, I am a Cubase user when it comes to my digital audio workstation of choice. And something that I get asked a lot is, well, what if I record at home in Cubase, for example, and then I want to send the files to be mixed by someone who doesn't use Cubase, who is maybe a Pro Tools user or what have you. How do you do that? Because obviously a Pro Tools user cannot open a Cubase session file in Pro Tools. The trick is that, or the benefit is that audio files, WAV files typically are ubiquitous amongst the different digital audio platforms. So all you need to do is figure out a way to get the audio out of your DAW so that you can zip it up and send it to the person who's going to continue the work. So let's have a quick look at how to do that in Cubase. On the screen, I got a tune that I've been working on with my partner Carol called The Traveling Song, and I'll play a little bit of it towards the end. If you want to hear some more of that, go to desandcarol.com, and we're giving away some tracks over there. Actually, desandcarol.com/freebie will take you right to the tracks if you're curious to know what we're up to. But anyway, this is called Traveling Song. Let's have a listen to a little bit of it. I'll just skip forward a little.
My welcome. I've got nothing to
This is a very acoustic record that we did called the Living Room Sessions.
So I'll sing a traveling song. Worn out my body.
Okay, so that's a little taste of the tune. But as you can see on the screen, we've got some sound effects, vocals, ukulele, some electric guitar, some cajon, percussion, and shaker and tambourine. So a very light arrangement. But if I wanted to get all these tracks out of Cubase so that somebody else could continue to mix from here, the way it's done is this. I would go first of all up to your file menu and go to the export. You're going to want to export audio mix down, okay? Now in Cubase, you want to make sure that your left and right locators here and here extend the whole piece. So if your locators here, you're going to miss all this information at the end. So the way I like to do that is select everything, Command A, and if you hit the P key, P as in Peter, it'll automatically put the left and right locators around everything in the selection. So actually I got some automation over here that doesn't need to be in, so I'll just slide that over a little bit there, okay? Now the important thing is that when you export your audio, you want to make sure that all of the files are the same length, meaning they all start at 0. You don't want to have, if you've got a little, vocal in here or a little guitar solo over here, you don't want the next engineer to have to try to line that up and figure out where it's supposed to go. So you want to make sure all of the files span the entire length of the tune, and the audio component just happens to pop up in the time that it's supposed to, okay? So the way we do that in Cubase, select everything, right and left locators surrounding the entire project, go up to File, go to the Export menu, Audio Mix Down. Now here we have a few options. By default, it's going to export from the stereo bus, from the stereo output, because normally that's what we want. We want a print, a stereo file that we can throw on an iPod and have a listen to later, okay? In this case though, we want to use channel batch export. Now what that does is it allows me to export individual channels at the channel level itself, at the fader from that channel, not at the master fader, and have them all output separately, okay? So I can grab my cajon, I can grab my all my audio channels right here. And I'm not going to worry about the effects channels right now because typically I wouldn't have effects yet if I'm sending this off for somebody else to mix later, okay? So there's my percussion and in fact, I got my cajon in and out. I'm going to leave the group channels out. So I'm just going to get all my audio channels individually. And from there, I'm going to give it a title. So we're going to say Traveling Song Tracks. And I'm going to choose a spot to save it. We're going to go desktop. Actually, I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to hit choose and I'm going to go desktop, new folder. I'm just going to call this test so I can delete it later because I don't actually need this. And we'll hit save. And your bit depth sample rate as well. So 44, 116 bit. I normally like to keep everything as high bit depth as possible. The sample rate I'm not as concerned with. There's other videos on my channel you can check out to understand a little bit more about what those two things mean. And then from there, I'm going to hit the export button. And what that's going to do is it's going to export all of those individual audio tracks one by one into the location I specified, and it's going to append them all with the name that I chose, which was Traveling Song Tracks. So you'll see Traveling Song Tracks and then Cajon, inside Cajon, outside, etc., etc. And then I can take that folder once it's complete and I can compress it into a zip file, and I can drop that in, for example, a Dropbox folder and send somebody a link. And that next engineer can then just click on that link, download that zip file, unzip it, drag and drop those files directly into their DAW, and proceed from there, no matter what software they like to use, okay? So that's called batch exporting in Cubase, and I'll just show you here what to do once it's, if you're on the receiving end of these files, so you can see exactly what we've done. Okay, so once it's all done, I will open up my test folder here, and I move that out of the way. We'll create a new Cubase file. And what I'll be able to do now is drop those files right into this new session. I'll just move them onto my other screen for a second so I can actually get them. There we go. So now I can take all these files, drag them and drop them, boom, right into a new session on different tracks. I'm not going to bother copying them for this exercise. We'll just drop them in. Line them all up at the start. And there it is. I solo through.
Just this aching.
There's the uke. There's some electric guitar. And so on and so forth. Some cajon, etc. Okay? So that's how how easy it is to do a batch export of all of your audio from a session, so that you can zip it up and send it to somebody else to continue the engineering process on. Okay, so hopefully you find that useful, especially if you are a Cubase user. By the way, go on over to desandcarol.com and you can grab these tunes for free. We'll send them to you via email. And until next time, keep making music, and I'll take it away with Traveling Song.
Worn out my way.